Here's the ultimate guide to losing 30 pounds in 90 days and keeping it off forever.
That's Hunter.
What's going on, guys? Kayvon Rashad. I help you man get fit physically, spiritually, and emotionally, man. Really quick, make sure you guys hit that like button, make sure you guys comment and subscribe and turn on post notifications. The first thing you need to do, guys, is look through your refrigerator, look through your freezer, look through your cabinets, and look at everything in there and ask yourself, does this align with fat loss? The irony of this question is you can still eat whatever you want and lose weight and lose body fat, but ask yourself, if that was the case, how come you haven't lost the 30 pounds yet? Exactly. Are the cookies, are the chips, the sodas, the juices, are all these things still in your cabinets? If so, you might need to throw it away. The reason why is because it's clearly stopping you from getting to your goals a lot faster, bro. So the first thing we need to do is the removal process. I talk about this all the time. I tell my clients this. You know, my client right here who lost 15 pounds in 90 days. And my other client right here, Johnny, who lost over 100 pounds in less than 9 months. So if they can do it, so can you. So we must remove all the BS out of our apartment or our house or wherever we live. So remove it. You need to remove these things out of your house. Why? Because the more access you have to it, the more chances you're gonna get to it. It's just like, if I wanna stop eating Oreos, the first thing I'm gonna do is stop buying Oreos and bring them home. Don't buy the whole pack of Oreos and bring it home, because you're just gonna eat that whole row every day. You're gonna eat that whole roll in one day. How do I know this? Because I've done that before. I know plenty of people that do this all the time, because sweets are addicting. They're designed to make you keep eating and keep buying it. So we must remove these type of things out of our household. Why? It just creates less friction. It creates more friction. I don't have it in my house. If I really want it, I have to literally drive or walk to the store. And then you start asking yourself, do I really want this shit? Probably not. And a lot of times you're just bored. And so because you're bored, you have access to it, it's in your proximity, and you're just gonna grab it. So let's remove all the bullshit. Let's remove all of the bullshit out of the house and lock in. That leads me to my second point. The second point is we're gonna remove these bullshit items and we're gonna replace it. So you can't just remove stuff and don't replace it, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. So it's just like if you want to practice, semen retention. It's for my guys. It's a men's channel. If you want to practice semen retention, you can't just stop watching corn and do nothing. You have to replace corn with working out, strength training, doing your cardio, reading, doing things that keeps you productive and active and activate dopamine in a healthy, productive way. You can't just stop watching porn and stop fapping and don't do anything with that energy, because it's going to drive you to want to do it because you're not doing anything. So when it comes to the food, we have to remove these items out of our house, give it to the homeless people, give it to someone else, or just throw it in the trash, you know what I mean? And then we're going to replace it. What are we going to replace it with? We're going to replace it with protein. Let's start with protein. Protein and fats are is the essential macronutrients, are the only essential macronutrients. So protein. We want to lose 30 pounds, we need to eat more high protein foods. I want to get chicken breast. Chicken breast, lower in calories, high in protein. 4 ounces of chicken breast is 120 calories and 25 grams of protein. So you mean to tell me I can have 2 servings of that, get 50 grams of protein for less than 300 calories? Sign me the fuck up. Another great protein source, ground turkey. But not just any ground turkey. You want to get 93% lean ground turkey. 160, 170 calories per 4 ounces and 23 grams of protein and only like 5 to 7 grams of fat. Sign me the fuck up. Listen, high protein, the more protein that's in your diet, the better chances you are losing the weight and keeping on muscle mass. Why? Because protein is super satiating, and also protein is essential for building muscle. It's essential for keeping muscle on as well. So we need protein. Another great protein source, lean steak and lean beef. So I like 93% ground beef as well. So a lot of people, when they go, you can still have hamburgers, you used to have French fries. It's just all about switching it up for a healthier, less fatty option. So hamburgers and fries, get a hamburger, get 93% lean ground beef, make hamburger patties, put them on the grill, tastes very good. You know what I mean? Now with carbs, carbs are not bad for you guys. You can eat carbs and still lose weight. Carbs are, matter of fact, needed, especially if you're on this journey. Because think about it, you're still trying to keep on muscle mass. Although carbs aren't an essential macronutrient, it still is good for muscle building and, keeping, your energy high in the gym, keeping your muscles hydrated in the gym, keeping you, energetic in the gym. It's good for energy, you know what I mean? So we need carbs. What kind of carbs you have? Get your sweet potatoes, regular white potatoes, get you some quinoa, green vegetables, veggies. Veggies are carbs too. People think veggies are its own thing. Vegetables are carbs too. Fruits, what's the best fruits for fat loss? Watermelon, super hydrating, low calorie. You can eat this in a large volume, feel full. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, you know what I'm saying? Good for your skin. It's good for your body. It's low in calorie. And it has those polyphenols in it as well. Very good for you. Get you some fruits, veggies, jasmine rice. Get you some white rice too. It's all about measuring these things out. It's all about measuring these foods out. But I'm gonna get into that later on. And then fats, eggs, olive oil spray. You know what I mean? You can use olive oil, just make sure you're measuring out, avocado. These are things that are good for you. Salmon, it's a fatty fish. Fats are good for you. Fats are good for hormonal regulation. It's good for your skin. So these things are good. This is a baseline. Listen, if you guys want a full plan, grab the Lean Machine Blueprint. It's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. It's going to get you in the right direction. If you follow this plan, the Lean Machine Blueprint, for the next 30 days, if you follow it to a T, you will see results in an instant. If you just follow this program to a T, I promise you. I promise you. Grab it. So listen, now that we removed some foods, replaced some foods, now let's talk about the exercise, man. Listen, you need to put yourself in a position to make exercise easy. Like I told you about the Oreos. You want to create more friction to getting Oreos. So more steps in between getting those Oreos versus you just walking out of your bedroom getting Oreos. Now when it comes to exercise, you need to create less friction. So for me, my apartment, I have a gym in my apartment complex. So I can train more often. I can train more frequently. You know what I'm saying? Another way to create less friction, pack your bag for the gym. So that way when you get off of work, you can just go straight there. Because if you go home, most likely you're gonna chill, fuck around, and you're not going to do what you need to do, and you're gonna eventually miss the gym. You might call out, or you might get to the gym later. And then by the time you get to the gym, it's already super packed, you're tired anyway, you might just go home or half-ass the workout. So pack your gym bag inside the car, make sure you pick out your gym clothes the night before, if you have an apartment complex, and then put the clothes on right afterwards, right when you wake up. But create less friction of you going to the gym. Pick days when you're off. Listen, if you're off on the weekends, or if you're off, let's just say for me, I work Monday through Friday. I'm off on the weekends. I might train I'm gonna train twice on the weekdays, and I'll train all weekend. I might train Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. You know what I mean? So it's all about finding a schedule that works for you. You know what I mean? If you're a person that you can only work out in the morning, work out in the morning. If you're a person that can work out in the nighttime, work at nighttime. But find out what works for you. Everything is not black and white. And don't put yourself in a rule. Don't put rules on yourself. Create frameworks for yourself. You know what I mean? So work it out. Pick a routine that works best for you. Like I said, guys, get in the Lean Machine Blueprint. Also, get in my community too. I have tons of workout programs that you can follow. And I'm still building out different workout programs. So get in the Ascension University community. It's a free private community for men that's trying to send them to the next level with their fitness, self-improvement, and dating. So get in there, man. So listen, working out, pick a schedule that works for you. If you're someone that's super busy, 3 times a week, more than enough. Someone that has a little more time, maybe do 4 times a week. If you're someone that have an abundance of time, you can go to the gym a lot, and you want to speed up your results and create more muscle while you're trying to lose fat, do 5 to 6 times a week. It just depends on what works for you, which is going to lead me to the next one. Now, since we're on the topic of losing 30 pounds, cardio is very important, but it's not that important. It depends on the cardio you do. There's 2 types of cardio exercises. There's list and there's HIIT. What are the 2 differences? List is low intensity steady state cardio. So that's more like you walking on the treadmill, you walking on the Stairmaster, on the low level, you just doing a random walk. Those are you riding the bike at a slow pace. That is what I call low intensity steady state cardio. You're going for longer periods, but you're pacing yourself. You're not going super hard. And then you got the HIIT, which is high intensity interval training. So this is more, you're doing more circuits. So like jumping jacks for 10 rounds of jumping jacks for 30 seconds, and then you rest for 30 seconds and repeat. You're doing jump burpees, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, doing 5 to 6 rounds of that, med ball slams. You get where I'm going with this, or you're doing, you're doing sprints. You're running sprints 10 yards, take a 30-second rest. So interval training, you're doing intervals. Pick which one works best for you. I highly recommend for the average person, do mostly low intensity steady state cardio, and maybe add 1 or 2 days of HIIT, because at the end of the day, bro, we're just trying to lose fat. We're not trying to be the next Ronnie Coleman. We're not trying to be the next Michael Phelps. We're not trying to be the next, Olympic gold medalist. So, we don't need to be doing too much, and honestly, I would prefer the average person to do more low intensity steady state cardio. Me personally, I just came from a walk about an hour ago. Nice little walk on the beach. It was a 45-minute walk, super peaceful. Had my headphones on, listen to some music, and there's a podcast. So pick a schedule, pick, whichever works best for you, whichever one you like the most, because at the end of the day, it's all about longevity and sustainability. I can walk every day and not sure about it. I can't go running every day. I don't want to go running every day. I don't want to ride my bike at a high speed every single day. So honestly, I would rather you go low intensity state cardio, right? But don't overkill, right? Don't overkill. Give yourself some time to rest. Next point, sleep. Sleep is very important, guys. Listen, don't listen to these billionaires saying you don't get sleep. They are getting sleep. They perform at a high level. They take their health and wellness very serious, man. So get you some sleep. Again, 7 to 9 hours of sleep is king. 7 hours minimum. If you can get 7 hours of sleep, bro, you're in the money. But that's gonna require you to, really be intentional. Setting a bedtime schedule, waking up at a certain time, but really setting a bedtime schedule. If you want to be in bed by 10 o'clock, sleep, that shit needs to start at 8:30, honestly. Really 8 o'clock. Some people, again, life happens, certain things happen, so you need to make sure you have a certain schedule. So if I wanna be in bed by 10 o'clock, I wanna take my shower around 8:30, I'm gonna start dimming the lights. I don't have any blue light glasses, but what I do with my phone, I put it on night shift mode around 7 o'clock, so that way I'm not getting that blue light screen. But if you haven't, invest in some blue light glasses. I try to stop eating at a certain time too, so my food can really digest. Also, supplement with my magnesium glycinate. Magnesium is very good for relaxing your muscles and help you really go to sleep. So I like to take my magnesium glycinate towards bedtime, so about an hour before bed. Another thing I like to do is put on brown noise. So I'll read a book and put some brown noise on. Fucking knocks me out. But sleep is very important, guys, if you really want to grow your muscle and speed up your fat loss, man. It's very key. Now, last part is going to be very important, bro. It's all about the mindset, bro. Listen, you have to see yourself dropping that 30 pounds. You got to see yourself. Listen, how would you feel? How would you feel, bro, if you were the leanest version ever? How would you feel if you had an 8-pack? How would you feel if you was able to fit in those clothes you haven't worn in 5 years because you gained 50 pounds in that relationship? How would you feel if you were on the beach and girls was eye fucking you? You know what I'm saying? Calling you eye candy, calling you Baywatch. That would make you feel great. How would you feel if people looked up for you for information about working out? How would you feel if people said you had the body of the dreams? How would you feel if you just felt the healthiest you ever been and just felt at a high level? You're able to, maybe run with your kids. You have kids, you're older, you have kids, and you're able to outrun your kids, teach your kids how to train. Think about these things, bro. It's not just a physical thing, it's a mental thing too. Before you can have it on the surface, you gotta have it in your mind first before you can have it on the surface, bro. Two things happen twice in life. It happens in here, in your mind, in your imagination, and then it happens on the surface. So you gotta imagine yourself, what are you gonna do when you get to that weight? What are you gonna do when you get to that goal? You know what I mean? What clothes are you gonna buy that you've been waiting to buy because you want to get this goal? Matter of fact, buy the clothes now, so that way you have some motivation to get into the clothes. You might be at 38 now. Buy those 36 pants. You know what I mean? So that way, you know you made progress because you got to them. It's like you're manifesting. It's like you're manifesting. You're already putting yourself there as if you're already at that certain goal. You understand? Which is going to get me to the last and final important SMART goal. Listen, I know we said 30 points, but you have to know where you are. You can't just say, oh, I want to lose weight. Because you can wake up the next day and lose a pound. You lost weight technically. So you need to really be specific. Really be specific. If you're 250 pounds and you're trying to get to 220, okay, you need to say that. You need to say, hey, I'm trying to go from 250 to 220 pounds. So what I need to do is I need to put together a good ass plan. I need to make sure, you know, I hit my certain calorie goals and then constantly track my calories every day. Tracking your calories is gonna be king. You're gonna need a food scale. You're gonna need to track my fitness tracking. You need these things because these are tools to help you get to your goal and really keep you honest. You feel me? So get this in, get these things, get a food scale. It's only $10, bro. A food scale off Amazon is like $10, bro. You got $10, bro. If you got a phone, you can spend $10, bro. You're not spending $10 to weigh your food. You're spending $10 to improve your lifestyle, to be more confident in yourself because you're gonna have the sexiest body of your motherfucking dreams. You're getting the food scale and you're tracking your calories, bro, so people can look up to you when you have the six-pack abs and your muscles are super fucking shredded because you locked in and you were disciplined. So don't look at it as, oh, I gotta do it. Look at it as I get to do it so that way I can pay homage to my future self. It's all a mindset thing at the end of the day. Hard work is cool, but consistency is better. Anybody can work hard for one day, but can you consistently do the same thing each and every day? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, man. Listen, if you haven't already, get my programs and get into the Lean Machine Blueprint program. Get into the Ascension University program that's in the description as well. Free community helping you ascend to the next level. Fitness, self-improvement, and dating, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.